So I wanted to give a quick update about my life. Currently, I am in a situation to where I don't really have a place to stay. The reason as to why I was off for about a month is because I was trying to stay at my apartment, which did not work. Failed very spectacularly. So if you guys would like to donate, please feel free to do a super donation, or I'll link my donation links down below if you like to donate and want to support my work and stuff like that. I also would like to apologize for the mic quality in this as well, because it's deeply echoey, because I cannot find my mic to save my life. Hopefully I'll be able to get a mic sometime next month. I promise you, and it will actually sound better than ever before. So please hang on tight. I'll continue to do videos. Just please forgive me for all the sound quality. I swear, I know that's the biggest issue that you guys have, but please, 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 please forgive me, because I'm just going through a lot, okay? Also, this is unscripted, so that's probably why I sound totally different. But anyway, let's get on to the video. So today I wanted to talk about something pretty intense, to where I want to give a fair warning to people that will be talking about serious topics such as suicide, cyberbullying, sex crimes, and the like. If you do not feel comfortable watching this video, feel free to skip this, and I hope to see you soon in another one. Also, if you're having thoughts of ending your life, please seek a professional or call a hotline to talk to someone. You are not alone. This video has been on my mind for quite some time now, and I wasn't really sure as to when I would be dropping this video due to the nature of the topic itself. I really didn't want this to be a video that's just talking about these deaths as a spectacle as it was at the time, or talking about mental health issues necessarily, but more so of a is K-pop that deep style type of video. I wanted to dissect why the deaths of Jonghyun, Sulli, Hara, and Moonbin really shaped the way how we talk about death in K-pop, and why I find it a bit problematic and deeply respectful to the careers and the lives of these four. I do want to preface that I won't be talking about Moonbin as much though, because for one, I wasn't a huge fan of Astro, and so I didn't get to know him that well. And also, we don't really know the cause of death for Moonbin. Since the other three motives were extremely clear and well documented, I feel bad if I were to get something wrong about Moonbin and how he left us. Apologies if there isn't a lot of him in this video. I just want to keep it as accurate and respectful as possible. So celebrity deaths, being spectacles, have existed for millennia, with quite a few deaths kind of immortalized forever in our psyche. Kate Dane, who is a professor at Northwestern Illinois University, says pop culture marks time for us, meaning that events in pop culture age us over time and are a part of our core memory processes. Every decade and generation has its own big celebrity death where people remember where they were when it happened. From the 90s, it was Princess Diana. In the late 2000s, it was Michael Jackson. Within K-pop fan circles, it was the deaths of Jonghyun, Sulli, and Hara. I still remember where I was when I heard the news of Jonghyun's passing in 2017. I had just woken up and my group chat was going wild when he was found. My heart was pumping erratically as I was frantically looking through all the messages, only to stumble the absolute worst news. He was gone. I remember crying quietly to myself, having to deal with the dilemma of going into work, too demoralized and upset. I was a fan of his, a fan of SHINee, and I couldn't believe that someone that I knew and supported was gone. The world felt like it was coming to a stop back then, and looking back, it really did. It was heartbreaking, as not even the day before, Big Bang's Taeyang announced that he was getting married, only to be overshadowed by the early morning news of his colleague unaliving himself. It was complete whiplash to me, feeling elated that my favorite celebrity celebrating eternal life with a significant other, and the tragic short end of another idol in the same industry. Out came lots and lots and lots of memorials for Jonghyun, vigils across the world, and cancellations for all kinds of programming in Korea. News of his colleagues paying their respects came with hordes of media hounding the SHINee members to see their reactions toward their bandmate's death. I am not going to put some of the footage on this video due to the upsetting nature of them, but you can find videos of idols passing through the memorial site to say goodbye to Jonghyun, especially on the day when he was moved to be buried. There was commentaries from all directions that day, with one of them truly upsetting me that included Yeti from Red Velvet pushing a member of Super Junior to see the last moments of them pushing Jonghyun into the car. Some netizens said it was disrespectful for her to do so, failing to remember or grasp that Yeti was relatively close to Jonghyun, one of the many female idols that felt comfortable around him. People seriously forgot that Jonghyun supported her during the times when she was being bullied when she first joined Red Velvet, posting a photo with her. The spectacle of Jonghyun's funeral procession reminds me eerily of Princess Diana's passing, in which the press scrutinized her kids, Harry and William, as they walked with their father Charles down the streets of London during their funeral procession. This just shows how incredibly voyeuristic celebrity deaths can be during what perhaps is the most vulnerable times of the surviving kins' lives. I don't think these moments should have been documented the way that it did, or analyzed in the way that it did. In fact, it should have been private, away from cameras. Nonetheless, we saw so much footage of Jonghyun's passing, as every day had live updates from his family and SHINee. This came during a new era of celebrity deaths dominating social media, as Simon Davis from Vice writes in 2016. The information age is bringing death and mourning rituals back into our homes via broadcast and interactive media. Just as the public came to know celebrities intimately through mass media, they mourn them in the same places: newspapers, television, and now the internet. Members of society collectively remember a public figure who played some important role in their lives. Ashley Patwell also talks about how we feel about celebrity deaths and why it feels so deeply personal, writing, "Celebrity mourning is not just the loss of one life. As the celebrities mourn online, their death becomes about us too, about our relationship to the celebrity, our associations with the categories of pop culture and celebrity in general, and our connection to each other." We all remembered those moments from that year when Lee Hae did a tribute to Jonghyun in tears, unable to finish the song that he wrote for her, or when IU did a tribute for him at the concert. We all broke down when glimpses of Jonghyun's spirit were at these vigils, turning lights blue or turning the moon blue. It was a moment where all of us truly were one together as a community. I'm going to put these two together because they passed within 6 weeks of each other, and both of their stories have a similar vein to them. I talked about the girls in my Female Idols video a few months back, and I still very much believe how very unfair how they passed away. For those who don't know, Sulli was a part of FX. She was dating a guy who was much older than her and got shit for doing so. When she left FX, she started to do all kinds of things that would piss a Korean man off, reading feminist literature, not wearing a bra, things like that. She would get a lot of hate comments, and for those who remember the peak of the Innocent Buzz days, she was on there every day. It was excessive, and I remember being swept up in it only to realize later on in my life that it was internalized sexism peeking through. With Hara, it was similar. She was dating someone from Beast or Highlight and had a lot of dating rumors surrounding all kinds of idols. She appeared in Radio Star, where a Super Junior member grilled her for being a and she rightfully got upset and threw a water bottle across the table. His fans came out and believed that she was trying to throw it at him, which wasn't the case at all. She would also get an ex-boyfriend who would threaten to leak out her intimate photos, and they literally went through trial. At that point, people wondered if she even deserved that kind of support, given her history before. Sulli left us when she was on a show that talked about netizens' negative comments. Hara left 6 weeks after, despite promising Sulli that she would survive in her name. I find their deaths to be more telling about the view of women's rights and their access to their own bodies, and it's kind of disgusting some of the things I read and saw during their deaths. I remember there was a rumor out there that there was an influx of men trying to gain access to view Sulli's body, and there was this morbid, nauseating fascination as to what she looked like, where Twitter was trending Sulli's dead body for days. I remember the same thing happening with Hara, as men grew fascinated in seeing those pictures that her ex allegedly still has. The way men still don't leave these girls alone after their deaths is disgusting and to even think about, as Victoria Kim from the LA Times said it best. many male fans seem to think they themselves are responsible for their star success since they rely on the fans' love and money, she said. Whether it's not wearing a bra or dating, there is a discomfort to seeing these stars as a being with personal desires capable of expressing their own opinions. After this, laws were proposed, including the Sulli Act, to prevent less cyberbullying, only for it to not work. According to an article on Soupy, the hate doesn't necessarily go away when the article comments are disabled. They would just end up taking to social media or making a video on YouTube, which we can tell is very true in the Stan Twitter world. Most folks who do end up getting sued by the artist gets a fine mostly, and there really aren't that many punishments for these people. The internet is a cruel place, honestly, and there really aren't preventive measures besides monitoring your kids' activities online, which is very unfair. As for Hara, she had to deal with her deadbeat mom wanting her inheritance, and her brother fought on her behalf, which is so fucked up. I mean, not only did she complete her suicide, she now has to deal with that after death. Like, a girl could not rest easily at all. At least with the Hara Act, it actually passed and her mom got less of her inheritance, but still, the fact that she cannot rest easily just pisses me off. There's also that conversation about the immortalization of celebrities when they pass on, where they're remembered forever for one thing. For Jonghyun, it was a discussion of mental health issues being ignored within the K-pop industry. For Sulli, it was cyberbullying and feminism, and for Hara, it was about the fight for inheritance and revenge porn. But for the K-pop fans, they are currently remembered for one thing: ending their own lives. I think what's evil about it is that people use their deaths to excuse their idols for everything and anything. Like, whenever an idol fucks up, it's like, well, we don't want another Jonghyun, Sulli, or Hara situation, and attempt to sweep it under the rug without really thinking of the main reasons as to why they passed. Or people only talk about their dads and not the lives that they had, especially with Jonghyun. Obviously, his depression was well documented, and it didn't help that he passed at 27 months shy of his 28th birthday. People have superstitions like the 27 Club and make him as this tortured artist, when in reality, he was very sweet, compassionate, and well-loved. People also romanticize how Hara and Sulli passed away together, making this whole weird thing where you just join your BFF in heaven. Like, what the actual fuck? These are real people, real human beings who lost their lives for a multitude of things, and we're gonna glamorize that? What? There's also that whole thing that people are trying to find meaning in things with idols that are still living with us, like IU making A for Jonghyun, Sulli, and Hara. We don't have proof of that at all. Perhaps the person who said it best was Valerie So from Beyond Asiaphilia, who took the societal analysis route, bringing up the concept of compressed modernity. Compressed modernity is a term coined by Chang Kun-sup, in which it analyzes the rapid-fire pace of modernization that South Korea has experienced in the past 50 years. So states that because of this, Korea is hyper-competitive and doesn't allow emotions of sympathy, empathy, and compassion to shine through. Sulli, Hara, and Jonghyun are cogs of a bigger machine/bigger problem, because had they gotten sympathy, empathy, and compassion from society, they probably would still be alive today. I believe that we have a lot to learn in handling celebrity deaths, particularly sensationalizing them to fit whatever narrative we're spilling out there. We need to lay these people to rest and remember all the things they have done, not the last thing they did to themselves or how they pass away. It took a lot for me to do this video because Jonghyun was my favorite member in SHINee, and I always had a soft spot for Sulli and Hara in their remaining years. I hope by the time this comes out, it falls under Sulli's death anniversary. If you guys would like more information about these people, always check out Twitter threads around their death anniversaries or birthdays, talk to some stans, and just really get to know these people. They're really incredible people. I hope they're resting in peace.